Okay, so have you ever listened to a song with a friend and had totally different reactions to it? Like you're vibing and they're saying, this is so sad.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes you wonder why music can hit us in such different ways.
For sure.
Well, today we're going to unpack that idea
Sounds good.
with an experiment that features songwriter Dan Campbell
Oh, cool.
and an AI
Interesting combo.
analyzing how an AI interprets a song compared to a human.
Yeah, that raises some interesting questions about emotional intelligence and personal experience in understanding art.
Right. It's like we get to peek behind the curtain of creativity and perception.
Definitely.
The song we're looking at today is Silver-Tongued Devil by Jester's Heart.
Okay.
Now, Dan's going to feed the AI lyrics, but verse by verse.
Okay.
But he's holding back the final verse
Interesting.
to see how the AI's understanding shifts as it gets the full picture.
I see. So, like, we see how it builds its interpretation.
Exactly. And right away, the AI picks up on the song's hypnotic feel and points out the repeating chord progression. C sharp, minor, E, B, F sharp. And it even suggests that a finger-picked guitar would support the seductive nature of the lyrics.
I mean, that's pretty insightful for an AI.
I thought so, too.
Yeah, that circular chord progression could really symbolize the cyclical nature of the character's behavior.
Ooh, I like that.
Like maybe a pattern they can't escape.
Probably a sense of being trapped. Okay. And the AI also picks up on the silver fox and fox in the hen house metaphors.
Classic imagery.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Painting a picture of this charming, maybe even dangerous individual.
Yeah, those metaphors definitely hint at someone who is charismatic, but maybe not totally trustworthy.
Yeah, like a classic archetype.
Exactly. The silver tongue really suggests a manipulative charm.
For sure. And get this, the AI notices a subtle perspective shift.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the song starts in third person.
Describing the silver-tongued devil.
Right. But then in the outro, we get the line, they love me too.
Whoa. So the narrator eyes the devil all along.
It's like the song is winking at us.
That's a really clever observation by the AI. The shift from an outsider's perspective to the narrator's own voice adds a whole other layer of complexity.
It does. You start to question everything.
Definitely. Like, is the narrator reliable?
Exactly. And it's not just about the devil himself.
Yeah.
The AI points out the female characters in the song.
Okay. What about them?
It points out that they know the risk and know it won't last.
But they're still playing along.
It's like everyone understands the game and is willingly participating.
Wow, that adds a whole new level of intrigue to the story.
I know, right?
Okay.
And the AI totally nails the song structure. Each verse builds on the last.
Revealing a little more about our silver-tongued devil.
Yeah, it's like we're peeling back layers of his persona with each line.
And getting drawn deeper into the story.
But here comes the twist.
What is it?
This is the moment when Dan drops the bombshell and says, "Hold up, AI. There's a whole verse you're missing."
Oh, wow. I can't wait to hear what that does to the AI's analysis.
Me neither. Okay, so the AI has analyzed this song thinking it has all of the pieces, right?
Yep.
And it's created this image of this confident guy, charming, maybe even a little manipulative. And then, bam, Dan reveals this hidden verse about heartbreak and fear of commitment.
I'm dying to know how that changes things.
Me too.
So how does the AI process this new information?
Well, the AI has to reconcile its initial interpretation with this new information.
Yeah,
It's like solving a puzzle when some of the pieces suddenly change color.
it's a great analogy.
Right. So the AI first acknowledges that there's a stark contrast between the silver-tongued devil persona it had created and the vulnerability that's revealed in that missing verse.
Okay.
It points to specific lines like, "Always have a lady, but my life's so sad,"
Wow.
to highlight the difference between what we see on the outside and what's going on inside.
Yeah, it's like don't judge a book by its cover.
Totally.
Yeah.
This character might seem like he has it all,
Charm attention.
Yeah.
But underneath it all, there's this sadness.
And the AI picks up on that.
Right.
It starts to think that maybe the silver tongue isn't just a tool for seduction.
Yeah, but it's actually a shield. A way to avoid getting hurt again.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
How does the AI actually describe this shift in its thinking?
It calls it a magic trick in reverse.
Oh, I like that.
Because at first we see this illusion of a confident guy.
Yeah.
But then the missing verse pulls back the curtain
Right.
and shows us the vulnerability underneath.
It makes the song so much more interesting.
I know, right?
Because now we understand why this character is acting this way.
Exactly. It's less about being manipulative and more about protecting himself.
It makes you think about how we see other people in our lives.
Yeah,
Like maybe there are people we've misjudged because we don't know their full story.
that's so true.
And the AI points out something else that I thought was really interesting.
What's that?
It says this revelation adds a layer of empathy for the character.
Hmm.
We might not agree with his actions,
Yeah,
but we can understand why he's making those choices.
that's a profound point.
It is.
Yeah,
It makes you think about the people we meet.
for sure.
How many of them are wearing masks?
Yeah, hiding their pain.
It's like this song is a reflection of the human experience.
It really is.
Okay, so the AI has definitely been impacted by this missing verse.
For sure.
But what about the songwriting itself?
Yeah, how did Dan pull this off?
Does the AI comment on that?
It does. The AI says that Dan uses contrast really effectively.
Okay.
By starting with this image of the silver-tongued devil,
Right.
the vulnerability in that missing verse hits us even harder.
It's like those movies where the ending makes you rethink the whole story.
Exactly. And the AI points out that this technique isn't just used in songwriting.
Oh, right.
It's used in all kinds of storytelling,
Yeah,
novels, films, you name it.
to keep us hooked.
And to give the story more depth.
So by withholding that last verse, Dan created this choose-your-own-adventure for the AI,
Yeah, he let it go through the same process of discovery.
like a human listener.
Exactly. And I think it shows that even AI can be moved by great storytelling.
I love that. But let's get back to those lyrics in the missing verse.
Okay.
What lines stand out to the AI?
The lines about love.
Oh, yeah, like never really known love.
Right. And afraid to love another since the day we parted.
Those lines give us the backstory, right?
They do. They tell us why this character is so guarded.
Like we finally get the missing piece of the puzzle.
Exactly.
His actions become less about manipulation and more about self-protection.
And the AI recognizes that past heartbreak can make it hard to be vulnerable.
Yeah, and to connect with other people.
It adds a whole new layer of humanity to the character.
It makes you wonder how often we misinterpret people's actions.
You mean because we don't have the full picture?
Right. Like maybe we need to be a little more understanding and a little less judgmental.
I think that's one of the big takeaways from this experiment.
What do you mean?
Well, the AI is analyzing this song,
Right.
but it's also kind of analyzing the human condition.
Interesting.
All the things that make us tick.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like music can be a mirror.
For sure. Reflecting our own vulnerabilities and struggles.
And maybe this whole deep dive is a reminder to be more curious about other people's stories.
Definitely. Like, what are their missing verses?
Yeah, because maybe underneath it all, we're not that different.
Right. We're all just trying to figure things out.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. This whole thing with Dan and the AI has really gotten me thinking about how we present ourselves to the world.
It's like we all have these different personas we put on.
Right, and those personas might not tell the whole story of who we really are.
It's like we all have these missing verses.
Exactly. Like those parts of ourselves we don't want to share.
Because we're afraid of being judged or rejected.
Yeah. Like maybe you're always the life of the party, but underneath you're struggling with insecurities.
Or you project this image of success, but you secretly feel like an imposter.
And those missing verses are important because they help us understand why people act the way they do.
Like in the song, when we hear that missing verse, our whole perspective changes.
Yeah, we go from judging the character to feeling empathy for him.
It makes you think about what would happen if we were all more open about those hidden parts of ourselves.
Would it lead to deeper connections?
I think so. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, it creates space for real connection.
Because people can see us for who we truly are.
Not just the facade we're putting on.
And maybe like the silver-tongued devil sharing our missing verses can help us heal.
Let go of the fear that's holding us back.
It's a powerful thought. This whole deep dive has been amazing.
I agree. It's been more than just analyzing a song.
It's been about understanding what it means to be human.
Exactly.
And realizing that our vulnerabilities can actually be our strengths.
And that true connection comes from being our authentic selves.
Imperfections and all.
Well said. So as you go about your day, think about those missing verses you might be holding on to.
Yeah.
Who deserves to hear your full story?
And what would it take for you to share those hidden parts of yourself with the world?
This deep dive has been a journey.
It really has it. Exploring music and AI and what it means to be human.
It's a reminder that vulnerability can be powerful.
And that true connection comes from embracing our authentic selves.
That's a great way to wrap things up.